How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week. Is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday? Now get ready for tomorrow. Papa Powell going on the microphone. Papa Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. How's everyone doing? Let me quickly turn the music down and turn this one on. If that's hopefully not too loud. Let me know if the music's too loud for us. Welcome back. How you guys been? We are on the wrong screen. Let me go to the full cam over here real quick, show you guys my beautiful face. I've missed all of you. Hopefully you had a wonderful time away from me, time away from yapping. But the yapper is back, ladies and gentlemen. The yapper is back. Markets are hot. Markets are very, very hot. Today you could say hot's the wrong word because it got destroyed, but it was still hot. If you're a day trader, they moved to the downside. You got lots of opportunities over there to capitalize on. Bounces later on in the day. If I remember, you got a double bottom at one point to take along also. So opportunities either direction. Small cap stocks going crazy. HWH was a notable name out there. In general, just activity across the board, which is exactly what you need if you're a day trader. Now, in my case, for those of you wondering, where was I, what happened for a week, why were you missing in action, MIA, basically, for some of you guys already know, but if you don't, I did leave my prop office to trade and back myself, so it's going to be it's taking a little bit longer than I like it to. Waiting for the broker to get back to me. Since I'm trading with the exact same brokerage, basically that I traded with throughout my prop journey. The idea is I'll get access to the funds. I get my same big buying power that I've always traded with, so I get my account and everything ported over, and the only thing That's different from now on. Is if I lose any money, I'm basically losing my money instead of losing somebody else's money. So a little bit of a change in the way that trading's probably gonna go from here on out for me. We are also going to make more percentages every time we make profit. For example, when I worked at my prop offices, at Trader TV Live, when I did work for Trader TV Live, I did get 75% cut. But when I didn't work at Trader TV Live, it was like 42.5%, right? And my last office, it was 50%. So you need to really start making a lot of money for the 50% to be effective and matter, right? So I figured, I'm somewhat of a profitable trader. I can pull in green months. Why not just back myself? At the same time, I won't have to travel so much. I won't have to go back and forth so much to work. That's also opening up like 4 hours of my day throughout the day because of the commute. So all things considered, there were more pros than cons. So at the end of the day, outweighing the pros, and the pros outweighing the cons is what I'm trying to say. Ended up me going to this route. So just waiting for things to actually play out, waiting for the box, because it's a prop environment. I need a box that connects me. It's basically like a VPN. Think of it as a VPN. Connects me to the software that I can use through my own computers. Without that, I won't be able to use that brokerage or the software. So just waiting for that box to come through. Then I gotta fund myself, and then all things should be good to go. Hopefully before the IPOs that are coming out very soon, which is the 10th of September, but I don't think it'll be before that, which means I'll have to trade the IPOs in my own swing account, which is a garbage swing account in terms of routing capabilities, fee structures, and all other things. So not the best account that I want to be day trading with. Anyways, that's my story. That's where I've been a little AFK. I've been, basically going back and forth, doing some calls, emails, waiting for the brokerage to send me the box. They said 2 business days. Today was technically the 2nd business day, so hopefully tomorrow I'll get some emails and some updates from them on that side, and I'll keep you guys up to date. Now that I'll have more time, and also since I'll be trading from home, I will be able to also stream a lot earlier, which means I don't have to stream at 8 o'clock at night anymore, right? So most likely you're going to be seeing me moving the stream time either to 4 o'clock or to 12 p.m. in the middle of the day, right around lunchtime. If there are any hot trades, maybe instead of lunchtime, I'll go to 4 p.m. I think like 4 p.m. is probably the best time, honestly, because then I could also cover hot earnings movers. That would be a fun stream event to capitalize on. Why did it say GG, Dieter? Hopefully the stream didn't die. He said GG for some reason. But no, now that we're gonna be trading from home, I won't have to. I can basically stream during the daytime, so no more nighttime streams probably. Most likely going into daytime streams more. Like I said, 12 o'clock. Or even the after hour streams. The after hour 4 o'clock streams sound really appealing to me, because during earnings season that'll be fun to cover. GG for trading at home and all this stuff. GG means good game, and you're saying good game usually when things are done. Things are not done, Dieter. You don't say GG in this case, but I think I understand what you're saying. You're saying that, congratulations, basically. I get the idea, but you're using the wrong terminology. Anyways, overall, yes, excited for the future. and I'll keep you guys posted as to how the stream times will move eventually. For this week, we will still stick with the 8 o'clock stream format, and then slowly over time we'll figure out is it midday, or is it after hours, or maybe midday and after hours. I most likely don't want to be streaming my trading throughout the day. I probably will not be allowed to stream my trading throughout the day if I'm with the brokerage. So that will be a problem for me. But the middle of the day, when I'm not really trading, give you a quick summary of how my morning went, or at the end of the day, give you a summary of my day went while we wait for earnings reports, and so on. Could be a fun stream time. So keep an eye out for that. Let's head over to the full screen here, show you guys what's in store for the week ahead. Since I'm not really trading this week still on the day trading side, I'm still managing my swing account. Speaking of which, today the swing account had a nice little pop to the north side, even though the markets got sold off. Let me bring in a trading view over here. Markets got sold off, but you know, a couple stocks that I recently own, they had a nice little reversal back up. They bounced from Temu, for example, not Temu, Tempest AI, for example, bounced right off of the 21-day moving average. Apple had some sort of catalyst along with Google, so that took Apple to the north side. I will probably want to look into adding some shares of Apple to my personal account over here. Let's actually go check where Apple is in the overnight market. Apple currently closing at 237 in the hour market, and looks like it's pulling back from 237. It's now at 236 in the overnight market, which is the 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. market. So if you are interested, you can now buy Apple a little bit cheaper, depending on the brokerage you're using. If you're using IBKR, or if you're in Canada, well, it's simple. You can actually access this market, or even Robinhood, or I think even Webull, you can access this market for those of you interested. But just a quick little shout out to some stocks in my personal account, which are going back up, with the Google Catalyst, Tempest AI, not really Google Catalyst, but just a stock that had a great day today, and I'm looking forward to seeing if it can continue keep going up. I see some people in the chat talking about gold. Yes, GLD, gold going up. Gold futures, I'm not really sure. GC, I think gold futures. Either way, whatever it is, you know, I just look at GLD, which is the Spiders Gold ETF. What a monster move. Breakout over here to a new all-time high. Let me get rid of those two lines there. Breakout to a new all-time high, which means stocks like AEM, Kinross Gold, KGC. Hey, good memory. Kinross Gold, KGC having a nice new breakout over here. Barrick Gold, which is now B. It used to be GOLD, but now Barrick Gold is B. Look at that monster breakout. Not really monster breakout, but it's been on a little bit of a trajectory recently, and makes sense with the way gold's moving. I want to see if silver, oh wow, silver is also having a nice move to the upside. So not just gold, you got other precious metals also joining the party. So congratulations to anyone who's holding gold or holding silver in your banks. I know my parents own a couple, was it maybe gold bullion? So obviously if you own some gold bullion, stash in your bank account in your safe somewhere, you are very much happy watching the price rate skyrocket. Coming back to a couple stocks that you know might be on watch today, and some notable movers from today also. Shout out to Centerpoint for hooking us up with the watch list on that side. Once again, not really day trading, so I'm not really keeping an eye on what's happening on the day-to-day aspects, but I do have an overall idea of what stocks I want to keep an eye on, and this just gives us help. Open door flying back to the high side. Kraft Heinz, because Warren Buffett expressed his disappointment in the stock. STZ, Constellation Brands, down 6% after their earnings report. Nvidia and other AI and tech stocks in general started the day down with the rest of the market. For example, CoreWeave, Circle was another stock that was down pretty decent today. Circle is low. CoreWeave is down. Figma, are you also to the downside? I haven't checked Figma. There you go. Figma pushing back sharply back into the $60. So almost every other stock out there got beat up, but Google basically breaking to a new all-time high over here in the after hours. So shout out to Google on that one. Can't really say anything else, but shout out to Google. Part of me is pissed, part of me is annoyed because I was long 180 area and I got stopped out. So I'm pretty annoyed by that one, because this would have been a monster rally. What was that, like a 20% move that I didn't capitalize on Alphabet? Whatever, who cares? But tomorrow, that's a name that you want to for sure be keeping an eye on for the day trade side. Usually Google has been like a shitty stock to day trade. You know, it doesn't really give you the momentum and the moves you're looking for. But you know, with the market, with the way it's pulling back, with Google and Alphabet going back up, possibly are going to carry the market back to the north side, and that's your trigger over there. When the market's reacting to these moves, market's also reversing most likely all of today's down move. The upside trajectory is exactly what you want to see in the market to help you with those long ideas in Google and on Apple. Like I said, right, I'm actually looking to buy more Apple shares anywhere near 235, 236. If we get a dip buy on Apple, I'm looking to buy more Apple shares. I'm a big hater of Apple products, but if Apple's going to reclaim the 200-day moving average, that's not a negative thing for me. This is, you know, a very bullish indication, and this is where I basically started my trade. I started my trade right around this area. Then you got a nice consolidation above the 21-day moving average. The earnings anchored VWAP is now acting as support. We haven't really tested it for some time now, but earnings anchored VWAP is acting as support. The 50-day moving average is about to cross the 200-day moving average probably in a few weeks or so. So that's basically your golden cross. You know, if you go back and do some study, anytime you have a golden cross on Apple, how often do you get a 20% move before you actually see some retracement? The answer is quite a bit, right? Quite often you see the market or the stock in general giving you that extension possibly into all-time high, or even a bigger move than all-time high. So looking forward to you know, join, or I should say add to my position over here. Looking forward to add to my position on Tempest AI once we start going higher. That dip buy, I should have bought more, but I was a little hesitant. Rubrik is one that I want to watch also. Rubrik had a little failed breakdown over here and popped right back up, so I want to keep an eye on Rubrik as a potential stock for the near future. The stronger the base, is it how it goes? The stronger the base, the higher in space. So keeping an eye on this solid base being formed at the moment. You could look at this base and be like, that's pretty bearish, but you know, if we start going back up over here, that's pretty bullish, and the risk to reward is very tight. So keeping an eye on Rubrik, as sadly volatility is dying down on this name, but clear support forming around the $83 to $80 area. Let's go to the watch list for this week. NIO today pre-market, Signet today pre-market, more importantly Zscaler after hours, so we gotta have Zscaler on the watch list for tomorrow. Let me quickly throw in ZS. I don't think I have Zscaler on here today, so let me throw in Zscaler. Health equity, I'm pretty sure that one doesn't matter. Dollar Tree, so Dollar Tree, Macy's, some retail names coming into play. Campbell's over there, probably a good one to keep an eye on. Sprinkler, CXM, I have traded that one before. Polestar, PSNY, or as I call it, PlayStation. PlayStation, basically, because the ticker. Polestar coming out with the earnings report tomorrow, pre-market. After hours, ooh, American Eagle. I have some shares of American Eagle. Let's see how they report, especially after the whole Sydney Sweeney move that we saw not too long ago. Hopefully some short squeezing on AOE that boosts my account to the upside. C3AI. Didn't recently they report their numbers, or they reported preliminary numbers, and the stock absolutely got destroyed. So they're now going to be actually announcing those numbers sometime this week. It's actually Wednesday this week after market. So we'll be very interested to see how that stock sets up. You know what? Maybe we'll start doing 4 o'clock streams starting tomorrow. And if we need to, we'll even do some 8 o'clock streams. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on Twitter. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter and all their social media, because if these stocks are reporting tomorrow after hours, it might just be worth keeping an eye on how these stocks are moving, especially my love GitLab, right? The GitLab has been one of my favorite IPOs since it came out. I've been reading this stock like a book. You guys remember? I know Dieter remembers every time I've been calling when to buy GitLab and so on. So that one's interesting. Figma tomorrow after hours. That one for sure interesting. So yeah, maybe we will stream tomorrow 4 o'clock. Make sure you're following me on Twitter to stay up to date on that side. A couple other big hitters this week. You got AVGO, Lululemon, DocuSign, UiPath. Those are all good names over there. Samsara is also a good name, IoT. But these are the big names to keep an eye on. Guardwire seems familiar. TTAN also. I have traded that one, but these are the 3-4 big names on Thursday after hours. Sorry, pre-market pretty much irrelevant for me unless there's some big mover that we didn't really expect. So that's your earnings calendar for the week ahead. And out of that, we're basically only going to take a look at Zscaler and maybe NIO. Actually, no, we also got to add Dollar Tree and Macy's. So NIO, Dollar Tree, Macy's. What's the other last one from that? Macy's. Do we need? Oh, CXM, Polestar, and Campbell's. Okay, so pretty long watch list over here for oh man, look at the last time I actually made a watch list was August 27th. That's a long time now. I make watch lists every single day. That's a nice little break away from the market for me. Let's start with the top of the board, or actually let's start with the earnings calendar at Zscaler. Zscaler, how did you react to the earnings? Oh wait, that's Zillow Group. Zscaler, how did you react to the earnings report? Looks like a positive reaction. First initial reaction to the upside, and then later on got pushed back down. Looks like previous resistance turned back into support. Nice little double top breakout, and we're turning this area into support. The stock actually popped into previous earnings VWAP and then pushed right back down, it looks like. Yeah, look at that, right into previous earnings VWAP. A little bit higher than that too, actually, but then came right back and trading just above today's high, or around today's high. We'll see if this area acts as support. That'll be important. You can see how not the earnings VWAP, but basically today's VWAP, including pre-market and after hour action, the stock is actually finding support just above that area. So that would be 278, 279. I'm just gonna say 280. That will be your key inflection level. If this stock is not getting above 280 in pre-market, then you're gonna start questioning, you know, is this report even bullish? Possibly not bullish at all. The original reaction was very, very bullish, but then maybe the conference call came in and negated all that move. Obviously, you want to include actual research. So for that, we're gonna pull in our good friends over at Perplexity. Type in ER scan. ER scan. We want to see for Zscaler, for NIO, and that was basically it for today, right? So Zscaler and NIO, give this a quick little second. It's gonna scale through all the Dish Network. Anyways, it's gonna go through all the earnings reports really quick for us, and boom. Year-over-year growing revenue, adjusted EPS, billings, gross margins down 2 points, customer growth up 10%. Across the board, looks like all good over there. NIO plus 9.2, worse on the net loss. EPS negative. Vehicle deliveries up by 55%. That's pretty good, especially because they have to compete with BYD, and BYD is actually absolutely killing the game. There is something that I want to see, which is a sentiment score and stuff. Here we go. This is what I want to see here. So AI is giving the reports bullishness for Zscaler at 9 out of 10, and a sentiment score, which is basically going through Reddit, going through Twitter, and giving a score out of 10, and they're giving it an 8.5. So fairly bullish score for Zscaler and somewhat mixed score for NIO. But the move for Zscaler doesn't look that way. NIO, actually, you can see how NIO completely reversed its original drop off. That looks like almost like capitulation long. The stock is giving you volume in the pre-market that's equivalent to the volume that it gives you right off the open. 1 million shares on the stock is pretty rare. I mean, that day it brought in almost 3 million shares off the open, but you can see if you scroll back, it's not too often that you see 1 million shares trading right off the open on this name, and it's giving you that right off in the pre-market. So a little capitulatory sell-off, and which got bought right back up to the north side on NIO. Possibly an indication that this stock could give you a violent breakout to the north side, given how bullish the Chinese sector is. Nice bounce off the 9-day moving average. You know, trying to hold its flag. If we do get a breakout above 680 on NIO, I mean, that looks like a no-brainer long to me at that point. Let me just quickly note that level. I'm just gonna put 680 to $7. Inflection level is 7. Hello, my numbers lock was turned off. Inflection level 7, and I want to quickly throw in an alert just in case it does go there. I don't want to miss out on that move, so throwing in an alert for that name. Not sure when it sets up, but we want to be ready for it. Zscaler on the daily chart, we saw it not too long ago, holding really well above the previous resistance area, which turned into now basically support. So 270, a little bit lower than 270, but I'm just gonna round it up to 270. It's 266, 265.88. Rounding it up to 270, basically that $5 pocket. Watching to see if there's continued support on a pullback tomorrow. Then you may have some long, but I don't really want to be trading in this range. So it's either it's holding 265, 270 very cleanly and very clearly, and then I'll try a long or a breakdown short from that area. Other than that, I don't really see a clear-cut trade for me. Tomorrow, if we do start holding above 280 and we don't really pull back to these areas, then that would make the trade a little bit easier. You know, even though we would still be in the previous day ranges, and I was just complaining about not wanting to trade in the previous day ranges, Holding above 280 could open up some room to the upside, as we would be basically breaking out of this little consolidation range. So watching any buying power above 280 on Zscaler for an opportunity to get long. Not really a resistance level, it's more of an inflection level, so keeping an eye out for that one. Some stocks that are reporting tomorrow, let's quickly scan through them. Dollar Tree, if I remember correctly, I was telling people to go long Dollar Tree, what, 79, or was it Dollar General? I can't remember which one of these it was, but it was one of these. I think it was Dollar Tree, because I actually owned Dollar Tree, I think. And you know, I had a good run with it. Somewhere around here, actually, I got stopped out when it broke below the 21-day moving average. So whatever, made a quick chunk of change and walked away with some money. But wow, what a nice move back up over here on Dollar Tree. And tomorrow you have the earnings report, so watch out for the earnings report. I think, you know, honestly, when I looked at Dollar General looked as a much better chart to possibly keep an eye on as a sympathy trade. You know, if Dollar Tree reports well, I won't doubt we see Dollar General back into 118. Dollar General goes into 118. It's not really able to get above 118 at that point, and then it struggles for you to get short, right? Any struggling power around 118 and not able to burst through that, that's your short entry back through the downside for Dollar General on a sympathy trade for Dollar Tree. That stock looks much better for me as a day trade tomorrow, just as a day trade idea. We'll see if it sets up that way. Let's see if I can throw in a quick little stream marker. I don't know where that marker goes, but I want to throw in the marker. Oh wait, that marker didn't go. Hold up, chat. We're gonna open up Stream Deck here real quick, because I need to figure that part out. I need to mark this part of the stream, because I want to come back and talk about, where is it? Full screen. Yes. Oh, there you go. Doesn't work. Garbage. All right, trash. I'll just have to go back in and remember what part of the time. 8:30ish or so is where we talked about Dollar General and Dollar Tree sympathy trade. That way I can clip it if the trade actually works out as intended. Okay, Macy's is another one. If I remember correctly, Macy's took a beating again. You know, they were looking good a little bit, but then right back to the downside. Now back under the 200-day moving average. Not really a hyped up name for me to trade tomorrow, but look, a very simple trade. If it's back above the recent consolidation high and it's showing buyers above the 200-day moving average, it's holding above, let's say, $14, which is not the range high. The range high is $13.80, but if you can round it up and if you can see buyers coming in at 14, then that is basically your trigger point to say, okay, you know what, if buyers are willing to defend 14, then there could be a long here to $14.50 to $15. You might get a 50 cent winner by risking what, 5 cents out of it. So the risk to reward is there. But you know, I really need to see buyers coming in above 14. Otherwise, it's irrelevant for me how good of an earnings report it is, right? It can just keep continuing to do its nonsense move and be very boring of a name. So I'm not sure the importance of the stock will be upgraded unless it goes above 14 and holds above 14 tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. CXM, Sprinkler. If I remember correctly, the stock was about to get bought out by some other company or something like that, but the deal fell through. Anyways, very, very solid resistance area right around $9.50, $10. So potentially getting above that would make this a little interesting. Without that, it's just kind of dead fish to me. Not really too interested about that one. PSNY Polestar. I haven't looked at this stock in a very long time. Now it's below the IPO price, or the, what was it, the reverse SPAC merger price, much below it. Surprisingly enough, I have been seeing a lot more Polestar cars in Canada, Ontario. So I don't know what to think about that. But you know, look, this is actually very a good indication. If you are you know, in the small cap world, having that volume spike, and then once the stock gets above the volume spike, is also a very clear setup. It's called the high volume, or the delayed high volume close setup, which will be very interesting. So if we do get above the 142 tomorrow, was it tomorrow in the earnings reports basket? Yes, tomorrow pre-market. If we do get above the 142 in the pre-market, that stock becomes priority number one tomorrow, because not only on the day trade side, even on the swing trade side, this stock could get absolutely parabolic. Might be a high short float number also. Let's quickly go check out what the short float content is for this stock, and I want to showcase something pretty cool for that. Actually, I made a YouTube video for that today, so go watch that YouTube video on TraderPrad YouTube channel. Where is it? I want to go over here to and type in what am I typing in over here? PSNY. Short float not high at all, only 2% short float. Market cap 2 billion. 2 billion shares out there. It's gonna need a lot of buying to go squeeze mode, as I'm expecting it to go, because 2 billion share float is not a small float. Okay, it's a pretty high float. That's the same float that Palantir trades with. So you can understand how much buying is required on a day-to-day basis for this stock to go insanely parabolic. And their earnings report tomorrow better be absolutely bonkers, right? Their delivery numbers are going up, their retail sales are going up, and everything. If that's not happening that way, then this is not a trade at all. But if that ends up playing out that way, then you know, hey, 142 breakout is for sure a trade to keep an eye on and not to miss out. CPB, Campbell Soup, is under the 200-day moving average. I haven't looked at this name in a seriously long time. Boomer name, but whoa, look at that. Boomer name, but under 2018 lows, and creating what one would say a bear flag under 2018 lows. Hold up, chat. So that's pretty cool. You know, we just went back on the weekly chart. That line comes back from God knows how long now. I have to really scroll back again. That line comes from 2011. That's from 2018. That one's from 2009. So we bounced from that area, and we're trying to hold in this zone. But looks like more weakness could actually take it right back into 29, and maybe even lower than 29. This is a boomer name. You know, Campbell Soup also, if we do go to war, probably the name to invest into. And another point is the PE. The PE is very cheap, so I'm not sure shorting this name is actually you know, a name to be very interested in. So we're gonna move past Campbell Soup, and these are the basic earnings names that you want to keep an eye on. Let's talk about some China names. I want to talk about the Chinese sector before we run out of time. Today, Baba should have been a buy opportunity today. This is basically the high volume close breakout, not the delayed high volume close, but the high volume close. For me now, it might be a little late, but I'm gonna buy some shares probably of Baba around this area. Look for the dip back into the 132, and as long as we stay above 132, 133, This setup is setting up very perfect on Baba. The idea is Baba has yet to have its, or China in general has yet to have its AI boom, and stocks that offer AI in China are all on watch. For example, Baidu, Pinduoduo, Baba, even NIO, for example. We just talked about NIO not too long ago. XPEV announced their earnings not too long ago also. Maybe that's worth keeping a watch on too. So basically these China names are all on the watch list. Most bullish of them at the moment is Baidu and Baba. So watching both of these stocks, Baba going into 140, Baidu pushing just above the 97, back into the $100 zone. I think FUTU, I can't forget about the FUTU name. This is your financial brokerage type of a company, so FUTUs for all in the Chinese basket too. Keep an eye out for those names out there. Nvidia pulling back today. This basically is now testing the 50-day moving average. Kind of showing you that is that a hammer, is that a doji? I don't really know how to interpret that, but it's showing you that there's evenly matched zones coming up over here as we're pulling back, also pulling back into what could be the earnings anchored VWAP around $160, which would mean the stock is now trading under the 50-day moving average, and you never want to see Nvidia trading below the 50-day moving average, right? Still a bullish chart. It's not how this is a pretty insane rally on Nvidia, so still a very bullish chart across the board. You have Google and Apple breaking out today. So I think tomorrow we are going to see a little bit of a bounce across the board on the tech side. The question is, what happens after the bounce on the tech side? Do the sellers pile right back in? Do we see some profit takers, some maybe paper hands who are now thinking, oh, thank God the market popped, let me get out of it before it goes back lower big time, and lock in some profits that I previously couldn't, right? So some late early profit takers, some late profit takers, not early profit takers. Some break-even exiters, anyone who bought in these areas and are now going, oh my God, I'm an idiot. Why did I buy in this area for a new trade? I could have just waited for the breakout. Anyone who's thinking like that, they might get out on the pop, and that might bring in some selling pressure. Some sellers and bears who are already been bearish on the market, probably waiting in this area for a pop to sell into. So it's the question is, what happens after this pop across the board? You're already seeing Apple go down in the aftermarket over here. How is Google doing on the boats market? Let's go quickly check out the 5-minute chart on Google on the boats market. Very dead action and just sideways, almost irrelevant action over here, and just trading sideways. There's money to be made here, don't get me wrong, but clearly moving to the downside. I think in our after hour market, which is a normal after hour market, we probably traded around 226, 227. Let's go take a look at that. Where did Google close in the after hours? 229, the high of 229, and it closed around 226. You're actually seeing it below that, so you get the point here on Google and Apple that, hey, there's still sellers up here on any pops. Yes, Google made a brand new all-time high, but there's still profit takers and sellers here, which is what you don't want to see tomorrow. So that will be the important question on those two names, and the rest of the big cap also. A couple other stocks that are notable. Shout out to the Revere Asset Management boys. They have an amazing YouTube channel out there. Go check out their channel. Some of these stocks over here, they actually mention on their channel. So they're names that I'm watching, not only for the day trade but also for the swing trade. Unity bouncing very cleanly off the 21-day moving average. MongoDB recently announced their earnings report, and you're getting the high volume close breakout coming into play. This is also looking like the 3-day setup over here. So if MongoDB gets above 320, 350 328. That's a very good setup over here coming in. So let me just quickly highlight that for myself. What is that? 323.50. That's a very good setup coming into play. For sure, don't want to be missing out that one if we are above that area. ANET, let's quickly go to ANET. That's looking great too. This is looking like an undercut and rally back above the 9-day moving average. Very clean hold of the 200-day moving average at the moment. A nice little move back through 137.67, potentially taking us back into 141, and then maybe even a bigger move above 141 here, worth keeping an eye out. So, you know, obviously getting a dip buy into 132 where the 21-day moving average is would have been much better, but if you missed out, you missed out. Also important to note that the stock actually undercut the earnings anchored VWAP, which is the white dotted moving average that you see on my chart. It undercut the earnings anchored VWAP and is now basically reclaiming the earnings VWAP, so that's a great level over there. Anywhere from 135, 134 to 137 I think is worth watching this name to soak up some shares. So 135 to 137.50 is the area that I'm watching for ANET on the swing account. Let me just color that orange. Snowflake, let's keep an eye on Snowflake real quick. That's the earnings name. So this is kind of what I was saying, what I want to see Baba do. Baba needs to pull back and hold at the midpoint area. Snowflake basically now reclaiming the midpoint area after testing the earnings VWAP, after also testing the previous resistance, now turning into possibly support. So the longer we trade above 230 on Snowflake, potentially the better the trade becomes. So that is your support area. You can see how anchored VWAP for earnings is also pulling up into that price point. So keeping an eye out for that bad boy over there. Unity is a name that we just mentioned not too long ago. Pretty much bouncing off the 21-day moving average. Any move above 40 I think would make it bullish, but you can see how there was a seller, very active seller around 41.50. So inflection level is 40, but you have a resistance level at 41.50 that you don't want to ignore at all. Palantir, I think it had a little bit of a bounce back today. This is the high that I'm basically watching on Palantir. If we do get back above that high, what is that, 163, and start holding above 163, that might just make the stock a good long to keep an eye on. So watching Palantir to see how it reacts, and then continuing to reject from that, it just makes that stock less worthy for me. Under Google, potentially worth adding Apple, but I am more interested in Apple than Google tomorrow. I'll explain why in a second. Okay, so here's Google, clearly above a new all-time high. 214.65 was the previous all-time high. Today's new all-time high is into 219. So as long as it pulls back and stays above, let's say today's this news VWAP, which is, I would need to throw in a new line for myself there. Let me color that one into purple. No, let's do that in yellow. Let's do that in this color. I need a color that I haven't used yet. God damn it. Okay, you know what? Let's do no bands. I don't care about any bands. Well, no, I do care about bands because bands make her dance. Bands make her dance. Or whatever. I thought I could customize the goddamn style of the dots and so on, but it won't let me customize the style of the dots. Anyways, you get the idea. It says 224.50, 224. I'm gonna say 220. As long as Google stays above 220, I think that's your inflection level. That's basically $5, $5.5, $6.5 above previous all-time high. If you're seeing buyers come in and defend above previous all-time high, naturally that's a good enough level to start looking for a long intraday. So Google, worth watching, but more importantly for me, it's Apple. If you go to Apple on the daily chart, You see that little consolidation high above 235. So getting above 235 and staying above 235 is the key level on Apple to look for the long. So watch out for I'm also just gonna put in 235 as the inflection level. As long as it stays above 235, I'm all good to keep on watching for the long over there. VLO, I'm not really sure what the story of this stock is, but as I mentioned, the Revere Asset Boys, Connor mentioned this stock today. It's a stock that they're watching, so maybe it's the stock that I'm watching now too. So I'm not really sure what the stock does. It looks like it's an energy corporation, very clean V-shaped recovery from the 200-day moving average. So maybe a breakout above this area. This is, you know, a little extended now, 20% move straight into this area. Straight green candles also. Let's go check out if it is extended according to this calculator, and it's not really extended according to this calculator, so maybe not as extended as I thought it was, but still a little extended. So not really sure what I want to do with this, so I'm just gonna kind of move past that name for now, but you get the idea. If it starts holding above 115, that's your long under over level. Holding above 115 long, holding below 115 short. Pretty simple. KOS, another energy name, very cheap stock in terms of price, but I'm not sure what's going on with that name. I'm gonna move past that. Bloomin' Energy, yes, this name has been very important. Let's look at this beautiful run up over here. I missed that breakout. Sucks to be me, but BE will be very interesting to keep an eye on. Maybe something to do with the energy sector in general. That's why our friends over at Revere Asset were talking about all these energy names, even solar names, for example. FSLR, SEDG are on their watch list. SEDG has a nice little flag, I guess you could say, bouncing off of the earnings VWAP, bouncing off of the 21-day moving average. Getting above that level right there, 35, would really blow the stock up to the upside, I'd imagine. Let me just delete that line. I think a couple too many lines now. Let's delete that one too. So yeah, getting above 35, 34, 50, 35 would really take the stock to the upside. So keep an eye on this. I think worth watching. If FSLR goes, which is a much more expensive name, you might just get a very good sympathy trade on SEDG, and SEDG actually has a much higher average daily range percentage, which is a 9% move. So way more lucrative, or even destructive depending on how you trade it. So be careful. TEM, a stock that I own in my own account, and I'm watching to see if there is a potential opportunity to add as we get back to the upside over here on Tempest AI for the day trade. I think you know, if you're a day trader and you have no idea how Tempest AI moves when it's active, you clearly are not a day trader, because you have not been watching this name. That name goes absolutely bonkers, and it's one of the best names out there to watch. You can even fade it later on in the day, and it usually gives you monster shorts along with monster longs. So ALAB, worth keeping an eye out for. There was another name that I mentioned in my notes. Was it MongoDB? MDBHDHVC. Want to make sure that I'm putting these in my notes so I don't miss them out. Okay, ALAB, 21-day moving average, is now basically acting as some sort of you know, dare I say it, inverse head and shoulders. You got the head here, you got the left shoulder, you got the right shoulder. That means a potential breakout of the neckline, which is here or here, and this one starts to blast off to the upside. Basically, this bounce, I want to say, of the 21-day moving average is very bullish. So keeping an eye on this one. This is a stock that got away from me. I was long in the 95s. You know, it would have been a whole, like, what, 100% gain. So missing out on that one. Hurts. Why didn't I just go long in this area? I'm an idiot. That's all I can say, honestly. You know, the delayed high volume close setup, if you want to look at that one too. There were just so many setups for you to take advantage on this that I completely ignored on all of them. Don't want to ignore them on other stocks. So ALAB potentially worth you know, accumulating some shares around earnings VWAP, but your stop is basically you know, below these 3 lows, so you want to make sure that you're accommodating for that. GSTG, I have no clue what the hell this is. Another. Okay, anyways. Yeah, no clue what the hell GSTG is. This is my AI failing me. Moving past that one. Clean Spark, CLS. This one, or is it Celeste? It's not Clean Spark? Oh, maybe CLSK is Clean Spark. Anyway, CLS, very similar to ALAB chart coming into play over here. Some sideways action, so possibly loading up on the dips and then looking for the rips to sell into and then take a breakout if you are interested. MP, the stock has a pretty high short flow, currently holding above previous resistance, which is turning into support. Not bad, but I don't think it's anything interesting right now. Boeing, ooh, that doesn't look too bad at all. Boeing, watching if this stock can get above 240, potentially starts taking off, pun intended. That's your inflection level on Boeing. If you start seeing buying above 240, potentially a good long setting up on that one. RKLB, ooh, not bad. Nice bounce right off the 50-day moving average, breaking that trend line, and now basically holding above the 9-day, holding above the earnings VWAP. Not looking bad at all. Your trigger point here would be $50. That's your inflection level. You do have resistance above 50, like that 51 right here, and then you have 53 right there. But the inflection level, based on how the stock just set up here, I would say getting above 50 should take the stock at least to 53 and just blow right 51 resistance area. So you want to make sure that you're not missing out if we are holding above 50 tomorrow. Putting some alerts over there. I'm going to actually move that alert a little bit lower. That way I don't miss out when it's actually going into 50. TRDO. I don't know what stock that is. I guess my AI failed me on that one again. Delete that one. Wayfair. Let's go check out Wayfair really quickly. What are you doing? Oh my, what? I don't remember Wayfair doing this. From, what is this? The new Carvana? Is this the new... wait, wasn't Wayfair getting bought out by somebody? How is Wayfair doing this? I don't remember Wayfair doing this at all. What in the world? And this happened this year? I guess if you zoom out, it's not really significant at all. It doesn't matter. But pretty surprised. I'm a little shocked by that one. Let's just put a marker over there. You see how this is the weekly chart. Pretty solid base on the weekly chart. And just now creating what you could say a little flag above the 200 week moving average. So that's a pretty bullish sign. We haven't been above the 200 week moving average for a very long time on Wayfair. So getting back above it, and if we actually start holding above the 90 and the 100, I mean, this stock could get a little crazy. The average daily range percentage is also not on the low side. So very, very interesting name to keep an eye on. This is why I love the Revere asset, boys. Keep an eye on that name. Carvana, not too long ago, reported earnings, blasted off, and then just kind of traded sideways. Not really too interested on that one for myself. WGS, this looks great for a breakout trade into not an all-time high. Thank God I checked. I almost said all-time high. No clue what this company is. Gene DX. Previously, oh, that's a split. Okay, that makes sense. Anyways, very, very clean setup. I think if we do get above this multi-day high, volume is on the low side, so that's probably a turn off. But if volume can pick up on this name tomorrow, or whenever it breaks out, the current high is 131. That would be your level to keep an eye out for. 131. Okay, Pure Storage. I actually forgot about this name for quite some time, I'll be honest. Not too long ago they reported earnings, and I remember looking for this name along somewhere around this area. Was it in this area? Somewhere around this area. And I haven't been watching this name for some time now, and wow, what a missed out on this breakout. You basically have that BABA type of a trade, so as long as it's holding above 75, anywhere between 75 to 80, I don't want to be missing out the opportunity to accumulate some shares in this area and get ready for the eventual breakout on this name to the upside. So 80.50, 80.68, whatever. I want to be making sure that I load up in the 75 zones, sell some into the 80 zones, and then when we break out at 80, load up again on that Pure Storage name. So PSTG, keep an eye on this one. PGY, Pagaya, I'm pretty sure PGY was, maybe they did talk about PGY. Anyways, I'm not sure what I want to do with this. It's not the worst chart, but yes, CELH is another stock that I screwed up on. I was long in the 20s, 30s, but I got stopped out on this back and forth action right here, and I got annoyed. I said, you know what, I'm getting a break-even exit. Why lose money on this if we do go back down? And what a idiotic move to do, because wow, the stock is now at 60s, right? So stupid is what stupid does. Anyways, holding fairly well, creating a little bit of a flag over here. If we do get above that little high of 63.50, $63, potentially worth keeping an eye out for a trade. Was it 63.50? Yes, it was 63.50 to $63. If it's holding above that area, I think there's worth the trade to keep an eye on. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the watch list for tomorrow. Let's quickly bring in the stream chats. I'm watching all stream chats today. Twitch, Twitter, Kick, YouTube. If you are in any of those chats, do let me know what you want me to take a look at. iFast Trades wants me to take a look at coin. Let's take a look at that one. Don't jinx my gold. Yes, sir. Not trying to jinx it. I'm trying to boost it higher, babies. Can we get much higher? Hello, Prad. Good to see you. I didn't know you are back to live streaming. Yes, sir. But probably if you weren't listening to me earlier, at the starting of the stream, it's most likely going to more day trade, morning time streams now that I'm going to be trading from home and my own account, instead of nighttime streams, because that's the only time I had left in my day to stream, right? So more daytime streams. You might be able to catch me while you're at work. Well, I guess since you catch me while you are at work, maybe you'll be able to catch me when you're not at work and everybody else are at work and they get to catch me. Anyways, you get the point. Daytime streams for Eastern time is what I'm planning for. Most likely 4 p.m. or so. Or 12 p.m. 12 p.m. or 4 p.m. is what I want to plan for. Okay. Josh, Apple event soon. Ooh, when's that Apple event? I didn't know about that one at all. No, maybe it's an inside thing with my cousin. We always say GG for all kinds of stuff. I mean, I always say GG for everything, but I say GG for things that are actually deserve to say GG. But I get it. If it's just like something that you always say, nothing wrong with it. But I generally only say it when things are coming to an end, like the end of a working day, GG, or like when I'm walking out of the office, all right guys, GG. Instead of saying goodbye, I just say GG, like good game, see you guys tomorrow, GG. So things like that. But I get what you mean, Dudder. I get what you mean. Don't worry, brother. Josh is in the house. Barky, What did Barkett say over here? Prad, could you take a look at CRM, please? ER tomorrow. Is it tomorrow after hours? So why not just wait till tomorrow after hours, and then we'll take a look at it live on stream. And I might stream at 4 p.m. tomorrow, so you might actually be able to catch me talking about it live as the stock is moving, right? So tune into that one. That will be interesting. But maybe we can quickly go over CRM and Coinbase really quickly for you guys. Coinbase, Bitcoin has been struggling a little bit. Let's quickly go to Bitcoin first. BTC USD pulling back and breaking back below the 112,000. Not the best thing. Now under the 50-day moving average, under the 9-day, under the 21-day, but still above the 200-day, which is good. Go to the weekly chart here. Okay, not bad at all. Now kind of going back up to, I know Dieter is very bullish on Bitcoin. He has been trying to push this market right back to the upside. I see his tweets every single day. So not really the worst move over here, showing you that buyers are still showing up in this area. If we do push back up, potentially worth looking to get back into the long on Bitcoin for myself on IBIT or something like that. But in terms of Coinbase, I'm pretty negative and very, very bearish on Coinbase, and I've always have been. So my opinion might be a little biased. If I'm trying to put the bias aside and just give you a quick little technical analysis, I mean, this is not positive at all, right? You're holding below the 9-day, you're holding below the 21-day. Volatility is compressing. Your Bollinger Bands are getting narrower and narrower. The 50-day is now flattening out and about to start inclining or declining. The 200-day is flattening out and most likely going to start declining also. So looking at just pure technicals, I mean, this does not look good. Yes, you have a clean flat buyer around 293, but if 293 breaks or 290 breaks, you're potentially seeing some doomsday events back to 270, maybe even below 270, all the way to 250, 240 on Coinbase. So you for sure want to be careful. This looks very much like a bouncy ball on the daily chart. So basically a bouncy ball setup is a stock does this and then it breaks through. So you don't want to be there on Coinbase at this point, right? If you're in this area, whatever, you might be able to stick it out, and then on any positive news or good catalyst, you might be able to catch that. But if that doesn't play out, you don't want to stick around for that breakdown if you're long. And if you're short, or if you're not short, that is where you want to stick around for. So just pure technicals, this is not bullish for me at all. So be very careful. A chart that's very similar to this is actually MicroStrategy. Had a very, very clean breakdown on that day. I was actually trying to short it the day before, idiot me. But the next day, if you got short on that breakdown, I mean, it was just a clean move to the downside that you didn't have to worry about at all. So keeping an eye on Coinbase, potentially worth setting some alerts for yourself. If Bitcoin looks weak, Coinbase looking weak also under this 295, 291 area could be your trigger to get heavy short on that bad boy. CRM is what Barkett said. That's where we're gonna leave it on. Pretty sure this is a stock that reports earnings tomorrow after hours. So yes, tomorrow 4 p.m. guys, try to check Twitter before 4 p.m. I'll let you know if I'm actually streaming or not around 4 p.m. But right around 4 p.m. I'll try to go live and discuss some earnings movers live as they happen. In terms of what I see on this stock and what I expect from it, I can't expect anything. I don't predict moves a day before their earnings reports. I don't know what will happen. You could use option chains to tell you where a stock might go, their implied volatility, and so on. you know, actually useful metrics. Those are actually useful tools, but yeah, I don't look at options as much as I should, so I'm not even gonna bother, honestly. So I'm sorry, Barky, but I can't give you a trade idea a day before the earnings report comes out. Just wait for the earnings report to come out, is what I'm gonna say. Let's quickly go to the IPO calendar, because the IPO calendar is getting a little exciting. I think, wait, what the hell? Is it October or September? That does not look up to date. I'm pretty sure September 9th, 9/10. Yes, the day before 9/11, sadly. 10th of September, you're supposed to get the IPO of Klarna, which is a pretty big IPO. Then you also have another IPO, which is Gemini Space Industries or something like that. That's also another big IPO. Currently, I don't see it on the NASDAQ website, so I guess I'll hold off on talking about it. So when it does show up, we'll talk about it more in depth. But 2 new IPOs coming out very soon. Let's quickly go to the last few segments over here on the day. This is the Chicago Mercantile Fed tool, and wow, look at that. You are actually getting a pullback on the market, whereas the Fed rate expectations, or the probability of the Fed rate cut on 17th of September is actually 91%. So things might actually not be as bad as expected. Yes, today the markets got blown up a little bit. You know, I think I saw QQQ down at 1.7 at one point, and people were crying, close the markets, close the markets. But you know, things might not actually be as bad as we think it might be. Google and Apple are looking to save the market. 17 September, Jerome Powell might save the market, or potentially it's all baked in already and the market doesn't go anywhere. So lots of potentials, but it just means opportunities for the day trade side. It just means volatility. You know, VIX potentially going back up today slightly. Let's take a look at VIX. There you go. VIX is going back up a little bit, but then moved right back down after the market went back up. But good, volatility going up is always a good thing for a day trader. Last but not least, the econ calendar. As we are moving into FOMC on the 17th of September, you're going to get quite a bit of active economic calendars going into that day. So tomorrow you have the JOLTS number at 10 o'clock. Along with that, the factory orders at 10 o'clock. Fed member Kashkari at 1:30. And the beige book at 2 o'clock. So a couple things over there to keep an eye out for. Thursday, you have the non-farm and the jobless numbers. PMI numbers also. That's pretty interesting. ISM, S&P. And Friday, you have more numbers again. So fairly active econ calendar coming up for us ahead. On that note, I think pretty good first stream back with you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully 4 o'clock, and then we'll see if we're doing an 8 o'clock stream based on the 4 o'clock stream. Catch you guys then. Thank you for tuning in. Hit subscribe, like, comment, and all that fun stuff. TraderPrad out. Peace, boys. Adios. God damn it. This buttons. Ah!
My big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to. Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.